the easiest seed stitch knitting pattern. Hello, I'm Kristen and welcome back to my channel Studio Knit. Today I am going to show you the easiest way to knit up the classic seed stitch knitting pattern. One of the most common frustrations I hear from beginning knitters is that their seed stitch somehow turns into the 1x1 rib stitch, which is also another great knit stitch pattern, but not if you want the results of the seed stitch. So today I am going to show you one simple trick to easily knit the seed stitch every time. We're using a 1-row repeat. It's easy level, perfect for everybody who's completed my Absolute Beginner Knitting series because we are simply using knits and purls. And you can see that this is a reversible pattern because the front, the right side of our work looks identical on the back, the wrong side of our work. So this would be great for things like scarves or blankets. And if you like this pattern and what I do on my channel, please like it up, subscribe, it really helps me out. For the written pattern, you can head on over to my website. I have a link in the description below. The pattern is written out there for you, totally for free. I've also included a knitting chart, so if you'd like to start learning how to read charts, then these simple patterns are a great way to start doing that. This pattern is also included in my Knit Stitch pattern book available for purchase over on Etsy. It's a downloadable PDF that you can print out. You also can have it saved on any mobile device or desktop as well. For our materials, we are going to be using knitting needles and yarn. And then you'll want to have scissors and a little tapestry needle on hand. You can have any size yarn or knitting needles you'd like for the knit stitch patterns, and I will link to what I'm using in the description below. So let's knit it up. We begin with our beloved slip knot, and here is the secret to the perfect seed stitch. Rather than casting on an even number of stitches, we are casting on an odd number of stitches. So here I have 5 stitches. That's an odd number. Any odd number of stitches that you'd like is going to help you easily make this 1-row repeat of the seed stitch. I think it's helpful to compare the actual knitted piece with our chart, and you'll see how the seed stitch is designed so that we have these alternating little seeds, these little bumps from our purl stitch alternating every single row. The pattern is K1, P1. In between those asterisks, that means that we're repeating it. So here is our knit 1, that's 1 knit stitch, bringing our yarn to the front to do that purl stitch, that's purl 1, P1 right there. And we are repeating K1, P1 because in between those asterisks, it's telling us to repeat. So we have a knit 1 and a purl 1, and you will get very familiar with this as you do your seed stitch. And you continue this pattern all the way down the row. So now we're nearing the end of our row and we're continuing with K1, knitting 1, and we're bringing our yarn to the front to do that purl 1, and we are finishing up the row after the asterisks, after that repeat of K1, P1, we have one last little stitch and we are just knitting 1 right there. That last little stitch is a knit stitch. And here is the beginning of our pattern already. It is starting to shape up. Now this is a 1-row repeat, so that means we do the exact same thing on every single row. So row 2 on the wrong side, it takes all of the guesswork out of it. We are knitting 1 and purling 1 on this side as well. So you just insert your needle with your yarn in the back, to do that one knit stitch, bringing it to the front and purling it. Of course, we are repeating this pattern all the way down the row, K1 and then P1. And then once you're at the very end of the row, you have that one last little knit stitch to complete. And this is your one row repeat. You don't have to think. Every single row you are knitting it the same so that you can knit your seed stitch pattern with confidence every single time. I hope you are inspired to give this very easy seed stitch pattern a try, and I will see you here next time. Bye!